We're here at the Divertimenti Culinary Salon, and it's my pleasure to welcome Simon Hopkinson and your gorgeous book.
Thank you.
Books. This is full of lots of memories, which is appropriate because the theme for tonight is food and memory. But I loved going through and hearing about where you got the inspiration for dishes. It was quite personal.
It is, but it's also reading a lot, and I don't travel as much as I used to, but a lot of travelling memories, but a lot of childhood memories. And Mum and Dad both cooked, and in two different ways. I mean, my father was a dentist. He'd rather have said dental surgeon probably, but he was a dentist, and my mum taught at Mary Grammar School up in Lancashire. And Dad, when he cooked, he experimented a lot, and we went to Spain in the early 60s, and he bought a paella pan, so we had paella, and he loved doing steak on a Saturday night with cream and brandy, and he loved making Chinese and Indian things. Again, all in the sort of 60s, which was, you know, unusual, but Mum cooked wonderful things which I thought at the time were homely, which were things like rabbit pie, jugged hare, lovely puddings, cream puddings, rice pudding, that sort of thing. So it's a lovely mix.
So it is, because it's a mix of travels and foreign places.
Yeah,
plus
I'm lucky enough to go somewhere, foreign places early. You know, Spain we went camping and it was fantastic.
And I love in the book, when I was reading it, that you talk about that good cooking can take time.
Yes.
And then we have this idea now that you could just kind of throw some ingredients on a plate, but that's not what you're about.
Not really, or easy. Everything's easy. I almost want to think of writing a cookery book called Cooking Isn't Easy. Or Cooking Isn't Easy, it's also slow, you know, or it's also thoughtful.
Yeah.
Thoughtful, yeah.
And is there a recipe, I mean, this is probably quite difficult, but one that is particularly near and dear to your heart, I suppose the kind of desert island dish that you'd love to take with you and savor?
Well, I suppose, being my first book, I can always go back to roast chicken, but it's always a difficult one, because it's like saying, what's your favourite film? Is there really just one? I mean, I've been moved sometimes to say it's the freshest egg, it's the perfect bread, toasted, the best butter, and put the poached egg on the toast, but it's hardly a recipe.
And it's awfully tasty.
It's awfully tasty. It's one of the best things ever, really.
And I love too how in this you give us, you know, starters and mains and different courses, and it's not required that you do all of them, but they do fit together so nicely.
The menus, you mean? Yeah. Well, it does take a lot of thought, that, and you have to. It's a bit of a puzzle, because also when I did the television series that went with that, there was 6 menus, and then to make it into a reasonable book size, I then had to think of another 6 menus, which was a pleasure. But sometimes it's a lot of juggling to get them right. And I quite like the late breakfast one, which starts off with a bull shot, which is something you get rarely in this country, but in the States,
I know it well.
It's one of the best things, and I actually can't get. I have a friend who brings over Campbell's beef broth, which doesn't gel when it's cold, and that is. I learned to make that in the bar of the Carlisle Hotel in Manhattan, and this friend very kindly, when he visits, and he does go quite a lot, also brings me back a few pounds. But that was I like that menu.
That's a great one. Well, I know what to bring you back next time.
Yes, please do. I have, you know, I will say, because it's on every corner shop.
Yeah. Oh, you know. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Well, thank you so much. It's a great book, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure.